Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 30. Day 30 of our Inktober 2024 Beginner Tangles Challenge. I'm Yehudit Steinberg. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And in this video series, we explore one beginner tangle a day for 31 days. And we are on day 30, which means this is the second to the last tangle in our challenge. And if you have made it this far, we're almost done. Congratulations. Which tangles did you like over the past 30 days? And if you're just joining us, we have a playlist for Inktober Beginner Tangles 2024, and all of the videos are there for your enjoyment and learning. So today we'll explore Zander, a tangle that uses parallel lines to create a rope-like effect. This border tangle has a strong, structured look, but it's also quite simple and fun to draw. Let's begin by gathering our supplies. I have a Micron 01 and I have a Micron 02. For those of you that are heavy-handed and are finding the 01 nib a little too fragile, I like the 02. And I have the PN for areas that I want to ink a little more or I want the lines to stand out. And I have my graphite pencil here, which is a Staedtler Mars Lumograph. This is a 2B. And I use that for shading. And for my blending tool, I'm using a tortillon, a small size. And if you're wondering what I'll be drawing on, I'm drawing on a 2-inch bijou tile that you can get at Zentangle.com. This color, this is their tan color. They call it the Renaissance tile. And so I have created the whole series with these tan tiles. And let me show you what we have. So at all of these beautiful tiles, the 2-inch tiles, I've compiled them in a coin holder, 2-inch coin holder. The 2-inch tile fits perfectly, and this fits in a 3-ring binder. And you can see all of these different patterns that we have learned over the last 30 days. So today we'll do Zander, and tomorrow will be our last tangle of Inktober 2024, and that will be the tangle squid, a favorite among many of my art lab members. All of our series of tangle patterns that we teach, I always show you the step out and give you a chance to take a screenshot. And many of my students are keeping a log, and that you can refer to when you want to do this pattern again. So let me tell you a little bit more about Zander as you go ahead and grab your screenshot. This pattern fills space with parallel curving lines, giving the effect of a coiled rope. It's a great border tangle, and the simple structure makes it a versatile addition to your compositions. Here's the step out guide and feel free to take a screenshot for your Tangle journal. We are now ready to start the 8-step Zentangle method, and we start with step 1 by taking a moment to get centered and to breathe. So let's start by taking a couple of deep breaths to get present. And the way we do that is to inhale through the nose, hold it a few seconds, and exhale through the mouth. I suggest 5 to 10 deep breaths to help you get centered. So let's get started. Let's inhale, hold it, and exhale. Again, inhale, hold it, exhale through the mouth. Continue breathing. And while you're continuing getting centered, think of something you're grateful for today. Let that feeling ground you as we prepare to draw. Stretch your hands and fingers. Do a little finger yoga. Rub your hands together, loosening them up. And now we are ready to begin the next step, which is drawing our tangle for today, Zander. To begin drawing Zander, our first step is going to draw a string that we will create our Zander. And we start by creating the bands around Zander. So let's get started. Here we are. I'm going to pick up my graphite and to draw Zander like this, I'll come and put a couple of lines I'm going to curve them. And then we will draw our bands. Like that. So we'll leave this in graphite and we'll begin drawing our bands. Because the bands we're emphasizing there, you see how I hook it? And it's a curve, and then I hook on the other side. I'm going to kind of bring a little line down, and we're hooking and connect. And right in here, I'm going to give it ink. We'll repeat this. C curve and join. And give this a little inking on both sides. Let's draw one more. C curve. So now we have drawn the bands. I'm going to pick up my two and we'll move on to step 3. Let me show you. Step 3, we are dividing this Zander down the middle. And those lines are a straight and a dot and a straight. This adds a little bit of a highlight to the center of Zander. We're going to continue by drawing parallel lines. See, I'm giving it a little space so that when we finish, it'll look like highlights in the center. I'll do that again. You can alternate where that highlight is. And let's go, and we'll continue on. Now I'll just do these. Take your time. Remember to breathe. Take your time. Now, as we get out, see, I finished I finished the last line. I want to give it a little bit of a couple of lines that are like a C curve. To show. It's like these are bunching it up. So, and now I'll turn the tile and I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'll start with some reflections towards the center. I'll do another. Zander makes a great border. I've seen it done where it's a little more rounded, like this one, which I really like. This shows a more elongated. You choose. And as I get towards the edge, I'm going to start giving my lines a little bit of a C curve. So that it looks like it's bulging. I always want to call Zander bales because it reminds me of bales of hay. And there you go. Now we have these bands here. I have come in here and inked them and gave them a little bit of gold. I think for these right now, I will just give a little orbs. I have a line here. That's going to become an orb. That's one of the ways that I find opportunities. There are no mistakes in Zentangle, but as you just saw, I had a line that it kind of got there. So that became the orb. And it helps to see right here, that little line, that will become an orb. So one of my teachers says, if you do if you make an oopsie, then feature it. So I try to find a way to incorporate it into my design as I start working on the finishings. So we'll do this one. The next step, once I have these orbs, will be shading. And with the shading, the first thing I will do is come in underneath here with a line of graphite. We'll do that here. And I'm going to put a little bit on top. It also helps to close those little lines that may have been a little bit uneven. And then the next area I will shade is going to be this outside. I will go on the edge here and give this some graphite. Turn my tile and do the same thing here. All right, now we're ready to blend it. And I will do that with my tortillon. So I'll start on here and underneath these ribs that hold it together. and move that graphite just a little bit, not too much. And then a little bit on top, but really very slightly. And on the sides, they'll come towards the center. And once we've got to these lines where we put the highlights, the shading should stop. I'm going to turn it a little bit. And you can play with your shading. There's so many different ways, and also the main thing is that you want to have gradation more than you want to see a line. And that's done lightly, very lightly pulling that that graphite towards the center, but leaving the center light. I can, especially since I'm using a tan tile and this white chalk, this is a General's charcoal white. This is General's charcoal white. We can add some down the center of this tile. And I should have a white tortillon. I should have a white tortillon, but it's not with me right now. So let me show you what I do. I find this very handy. And this is sandpaper. And so I can go in here and I can file, because I'm using this Jack Richardson brand of tortillon, which is super, super strong. It's almost like a stump. So I highly recommend them over any other stump that I have ever bought. But you see, I took all that graphite off, so I can actually go in here and blend just a little bit, not too much, and stay out of your graphite. Otherwise, you're going to make gray. So if you want gray, then get into the graphite. If you want to keep it white, stay out. So we now have a beautiful Zander. And the next step in the Zentangle method is to sign autographs. So we turn gently to see which way we want one is up, and we sign our initial. We turn it over and journal on the back. I like to use a PN because it writes a little darker. And this is day 30. We have learned the pattern, the tangle pattern, Zander by Zentangle. I sign my name and the date. Don't forget the year. And the challenge, the name of the challenge, Inktober 2024. We now flip it over, show off our Zander. Share your completed tangle in our Facebook group. Look for today's tangle post and add a picture of the drawing along with any comments or questions you have. I'd love to see how your Zander turned out. Is our last day in the challenge, and we will be learning the pattern squid. This is such a fun pattern, and there's so many different ways that you can incorporate it into your artwork. It's a great pattern, and I hope you'll join us tomorrow for our last day. The playlist for Inktober 2024 is in the beginners Zentangle 101 YouTube channel by Yehudit Steinberg. Before we wrap up, just a quick reminder, it's not too late to join our Sunday Mandala Challenge. You'll receive all the information, the guidebook, the recorded Sunday Zoom sessions, and support to create your unique mandala. The registration link is in the comments below or description if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this time was relaxing and inspiring for you. I'll see you tomorrow for another mindful drawing session. Until then, remember, one stroke at a time. Bye for now.